Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome to the Pipeline Podcast, episode 159. This is week 2 of our October boobastic, spectacular, whatever the heck I called it, our month where we're forcing in Halloween-themed topics. Today, I'm joined, once again, returning, Mr. Jake. What's going on, buddy?
I don't know. I kind of like that first name.
Yeah? Joypad Joke?
It might be more appropriate depending on who you ask.
Yeah, maybe. How's it going, buddy? What's going on?
It's going pretty good. It's been a week, that's for sure. But you know what? This is essentially my Friday, so I have the next few days off, so that'll be nice.
That does sound nice.
Yeah, and I just realized not only is that hat you're sporting in your intro, but I'm in there for a frame too.
You are. I try and fit as many people as I can in the intro. Next year's going to be tough. I'll see if I can fit everyone in, but
that'll be a task.
It'll be a task. But welcome to the show, my friend. I was looking back. I was like, all right, I know I've had you on this year at least once, but this is technically your first solo episode of 2025 because we did an episode this year, but Phil was also with us for that episode.
Yeah,
it was
he
the
episode. In like halfway through.
Yeah, it was meant to be me and Ronan. Ronan didn't show up for reasons that are an inside joke between the group, and then and then Phil popped in and was like, "Okay." I was talking back. You haven't done a solo episode of this specific show this year, which is weird because. And I've been thinking about this like kind of a lot lately in a weird way. I was like, I think I stream with you more than I stream with anybody. Me and you stream a lot.
It's possible, yeah. And last year I remember in particular I was on quite a bit. For like 2024, I was on a number of times, especially in the last few months, where you would send me a message and be like, "Hey, you free?" Like, I'm out of guess. I'm like, "Yeah, all right."
Yep. You're my for a while you were my like backup emergency push button if last stitch effort. But I didn't like doing that because you are a genuine guest and you are someone I love having on the show. I don't like you just being this emergency please help me person. But
I mean, since he asked nicely.
Of course.
That helps.
Well, we have a fun show in store today. New York Comic Con's going on right now, so there's been some stuff coming out today. I actually don't even know how much of what we're talking about today is from that event or what just happens to come out. But
today's been tame.
Tomorrow's going to be, I think, funner, and it seems like Saturday's like the big day. That's the one I'm kind of like peeking my eye on, just be like, anything.
That's typically how those 4-day events go. Saturday's typically the big day. But yeah, we have some fun news stories to cover, and we are going to be continuing our MCU retrospective series with what I think shall be a very fun combo of movies. One of which is one of your favorite MCU movies of all time, I assume, and one of which is one of your least favorite MCU movies of all time. Yeah, when I told you that, you're like, okay, now we have to do something with this because this is going to be such a stark contrast. And what's funny is the ones that are my least favorite and my favorite, but does the audience know?
Interesting, yeah. It's kind of similar. Me and Ronan back in June did Captain America: The Winter Soldier and Thor: The Dark World, which are kind of my I did not like Thor: The Dark World, and I love The Winter Soldier.
I mean, see, it's funny with me. I love Winter Soldier as well, though not as much as a lot of other people. And for the Dark World, I'm kind of lukewarm on. I definitely don't like it. I think it has good parts, but especially in the last few years, I think there's been a lot worse to come out.
Yeah, we'll get into that, I guess, if we ever get to phase 4 and 5 and some of those. But let's read some of the comments. What is up, everybody? Dalton's in the chat said, "Everybody, get your pipes in line because I'm here for once." Absolutely. I feel like I didn't think properly when I was naming the show. I was an innocent little boy. I didn't think, it could be
You were just naming it off. You were just naming it off the prison and the Flash, right?
The prison from the Flash. But even then, I don't know if I love that my show's based on a prison. Like, I feel like that's not even that good to begin with, which I didn't cross my mind. It's like, maybe, like, what's the implication of what we're doing right? Are we locked in a jail right now? Have we been caught by the Flash and we are forced to hang out with each other? But no, thank you for why am I saying that? I don't know. I'm tired. I'm gonna read more comments. Cody said hello from post Ares screening. What did you think? I hope you enjoyed it. Are you planning on seeing Tron Ares?
I am not a fan of Tron in the slightest, so probably not.
Fair.
I tried. I just couldn't get into it, and the most I know of Tron is from Kingdom Hearts.
I've heard that. I wonder if I'll like it more there too when I eventually play it. Yeah, no, I've said it on here before, but I've never seen the first one. My friend tricked me, I should say, into watching the second one. And then Jared Leto's in the third, so I'm just like...
How do you watch 2 without 1, though? I'm curious.
My friend told me I could watch it. He said it's pretty self-contained, so he's like, you can just enjoy it. I was like, okay, cool. Which, you know, I wasn't, like, confused about anything. I felt like they, like, what's the word? I felt like they, like, explained everything, without you having to see it. The Tron line actually got fully revealed today, so I've had a good day. Oh, hell yeah.
All right.
Hell yeah. Just House.
Hey, I love that show.
I've never seen House, just all the TikTok clips.
It's a good show. Like, I'm typically not into doctor shows, but I like that one.
Sure. Kevin said, I only saw Tron Legacy, and I love Tron Legacy. Well, hell yeah. I need to give it another shot. I need to try it again at some point.
I don't know. If anybody were to ask you, I already have too long of a list of movies that I need to watch, so I don't know if I want to add Tron to that list.
Oh, me too. I have a very, very long list of many movies I've never seen.
Little side note, I think it's funny how you had been holding the fact that I hadn't seen Last Witch and the Dragon movies over my head for a while. And then that got revealed to the council last night, and that just blew everyone's mind. Now, especially since I love the first Puss in Boots. That's what's funny to me.
Very funny. No, I need to make it like an episode pitch. I'll be like, all right, man, have a great episode for you. We are ranking the Puss in Boots movies and the How to Train Your Dragon movies. Come on Friday, and we'll. And you're like, damn it, I have to watch them.
Hey, you want to write that? I will binge through them all, and I'll even rewatch part 1 to start things off.
Someday.
I will even rewatch part 1.
Also can't wait to yap with Jake this Sunday. You have a Lost Levels planned this Sunday?
Yep, we are back to the world of Skyrim again. Dungeons, Dragons. Wait, that's a different game. Yeah, a lot of fun stuff planned.
Incredible. But yeah, we're just gonna jump into today's episode with this week's edition of Critter Spotlight, the segment where I torture my guests by asking them either serious or stupid questions. I have a couple questions planned today. This week's a more silly version. I feel like normally we're asking what people got their star, what their fears are, their insecurities, what their goals are. I have a couple of tamer questions, some funner ones, some Halloween themed questions maybe. And the first one I have here, just to get things started. Favorite thing you dressed up as a kid for Halloween? If you ever dressed up as a kid.
Everything I dressed up as?
Mm-hmm. Did you dress up as a kid for like Halloween or anything?
Oh yeah, I did a couple times. My favorite is probably when I was in high school. I went to this Halloween party where I think I was 16. So we it was like a Star Wars themed party. And I went as Return of the Jedi Luke, and like I had the green saber, I had the all black get up, and then I had like the one glove. And this is back in the time, because God, what year was this? Sorry, this would have been 2011, I want to say. like 2011. So, like iPhones were, coming into the craze, that sort of thing. And there was this girl at the party. I vividly remember this. A girl that still had an iPod. She was complaining about how her dad had taken her iPod. And I walked up with, the Luke Skywalker glove, and I had my hand painted silver underneath it as part of the joke. I said, "Oh, your dad took your iPod?" Ripped off the glove. Mine took my hand. Everybody that knew Star Wars there got the joke and appreciated it. So that's the first one that comes to my mind, just because of the story that surrounds it. But I still have that lightsaber around here somewhere. I'll see if I can find it one of these days.
Incredible. Yeah, I didn't do a lot of like trick-or-treating years as a kid, just because like I was an asthma kid, so I had a tough time doing the trick-or-treating shit. But I do remember I was Spider Monkey from Ben 10 once, and that was my favorite costume I ever wore.
Nice.
I love that one. Okay, this one's really fun. Goes with our like friend group as a whole. If there was a zombie apocalypse, what 3 people from our friend group, our Council Party Nation friend group, would you choose to be on your team?
Depends what the goal is.
Are you sacrificing your team to the zombies, Jake?
Depends if the goal is survival or not. 3? You said 3?
3 people, yeah.
Okay. Okay. You can distract the zombies with your book of dad jokes, so that's one. Ronan can outrun them like Speedy Gonzalez, so that's 2.
Okay.
And you know what? Just for the unpredictable nature of it, throw Phil in there.
I was thinking Phil as well. Yeah. I think Phil would do very well in the zombie apocalypse, actually.
Yeah. Those are just 3 off the top of my head. Sorry, Chainsaw, if you're watching this.
Yeah, I think I would also go Phil. I think Phil's smart. I'm gonna go Jordan because he reads a lot. I feel like Jordan's very smart. I feel like he has a lot of info in there. To be fair, I feel like most of it's fiction, but zombies are fictional, so maybe it'll come in handy, right? I feel like that will help us out. I'm feeling Johnny. I think Johnny, for some reason, would kick ass in the
zombie apocalypse. He would probably bring a whole Italian mafia with him. and hey, you actually finished The Walking Dead, so you would have knowledge on how that works.
Yeah.
I did not finish that show.
Fair. Phil would go for... Phil would be a Negan. Phil is very Negan coded. Yeah. Oh my god. Speak of the devil.
Or someone's ears burning.
We both chose you, Phil. So you should feel grateful. That wasn't the right word. Not grateful, but you should feel honored. What's something that people don't know about you, Jake? What's something that on paper people wouldn't assume about you, but would be a fact? This one is always stressful for people. They're like,
shit. Something people don't know. I'm trying to think of one that's like not easy to guess. So a small handful of people might know this, but and I was even bringing this up to you a little bit before we started, but I'm actually an Eagle Scout. I was the last one of my troop before they disbanded.
Oh wow!
And the whole thing about becoming an Eagle Scout, for anybody who doesn't know, God damn it, Jordan's calling me.
Oh no!
Do we give him a cameo?
Give him a cameo. Let's do it. Oh no!
All right, what do you got? Yes. The ghost is telling us to hang up. How did I know that was coming?
Oh, Jordan.
Man, I thought he would just save that for my streams. Now he's bringing that to yours.
Nope, it's on mine. Good old Jordan.
Yeah. Where the hell was I?
The last one before you disbanded, but here's the funny thing, and then you said something.
Here's the funny thing.
Or something like that. Maybe I misquoted you.
Hold on. Yeah, so I was the last one before my troop disbanded.
Okay.
And I feel like I knew what I was going to say there, but I kind of lost it. So the thing with becoming an Eagle Scout, what you have to do is, you have to do a certain service project, but you have to pitch it before it actually,
okay.
it can either get approved or denied. And your whole thing is that you cannot get your Eagle rank before becoming 18, but there's a little bit of an asterisk there. So if you complete everything and get it signed off, then you can have a board, which is where you get your Eagle rank. You can have that. Excuse me. You can have that scheduled after your 18th birthday, but you have to have everything done and signed off beforehand. I got everything done 3 days shy of my 18th birthday. 3 days shy.
Oh wow!
And for my whole project, I don't know if you know how this works or not, but whenever scout troops will get together, they'll take damaged American flags, take the eyelets, and then they'll lay the flag out over a fire to kind of retire it. And then the next morning they'll go and collect the eyelets out of the fire pit. And what I did for my project was I essentially built a lot of boxes to store those flags, and I painted them, red, white, and blue. I had a plaque on top of them, and because all those troops that had damaged flags in their storage areas, they would just sit there and collect dust, and no one really knew what to do with them until it came time for retirement. So with these boxes, they had a place to set them, and other people in the community could just donate them there if they had ones that they weren't using. So it was kind of a win-win.
Yeah, incredible. It was those kind of things that I was never a part of as a kid, but as a kid, I always looked at people that did that, was like, oh, that's so cool that they get to be a part of that.
I'm trying to think. Can I show my I'm trying to think if there's a way I can show my card without showing my full name and the date.
Your whole ID. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
Incredible. Was that one of those experiences that they feel like you bonded with the people within your, is scout the right word, within your little community there? Or was it just kind of I'm doing my own thing, I'm just trying to get my shit and go home and, kind of stuff?
So starting out, because I went from Cub Scouts, which is the junior version of that, into Boy Scouts. So I was really in the program from age 5 to 18. And at the time it did start out as kind of okay, just here because, parents signed me up for it, just get through the evening and then move on. But especially as we got into our later teen years, we did kind of develop some of those bonds. I unfortunately don't talk to a lot of those guys anymore. The only one that I do is as my brother, because we were in there together. And little side note, out of the 6 that were remaining in our troop before it disbanded, the last 6 that were there, he and I were 2 of the only ones who actually eagled. So 3 of us eagled, and the other 3 they folded.
Aww.
So, yeah, and it, not to get pretentious here or anything, but it felt like I had kind of a lot of pressure on me as I was getting up to my Eagle board, because I'm thinking, okay, this is the last thing that the troop's ever going to have its name on, and it's going to be my name that carries this and is the last stamp on it. So I kind of felt some pressure there, but I am still grateful for all those experiences. And for like the first 5 years that I was in it, my granddad, who's no longer with us, he was actually my scout leader. So those were a lot of bonding experiences.
Incredible. Those sounds like memories that you could pass on to your kids someday, or your grandkids, or your nieces or nephews, and that sounds incredible, man.
Yeah, got a little personal there. Sorry, but
I had to add something. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, back to the Goofy. I'm gonna name 5 things. I'm gonna name 5 things.
Oh boy.
You can only keep one of these things.
Only keep one.
You can only keep one of these things that I'm about to name.
These are tailored to me, aren't they?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, damn it.
Batman. Batman.
Okay.
Everything Batman. The movies, the shows, the Arkham games, everything.
I already don't like this.
The X-Men. Everything X-Men. And every character that's included within the X-Men. Your Wolverines, your Rogues, your Storms, everything X-Men. All the games, all the movies, all the shows. Jak and Daxter. That whole franchise.
Damn it.
Skyrim. And racism.
How funny would it be if I picked up the last one?
And this is a test, Jake. Don't fall for it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so one of them's kind of easy because Skyrim's only one game. You're not talking about the whole Elder Scrolls franchise. Mm-hmm. So that's only one game.
Okay.
So I love that game, but I could not get out. I'll knock the other one out too while we're at it. Damn it. I'm glad you didn't say Fire Emblem.
I should have done that.
I'm glad you didn't do that.
I wrote it last minute. I was like, what are 5 of his interests?
You know what? I'm also. Oh, actually, no. Well, you said Spider-Man, so that includes the Raimi trilogy. Fuck. Okay.
Yep.
I'll say this.
I didn't say Spider-Man, actually.
Oh, you didn't? I thought you did.
No. I said it was Batman, X-Men, Jak and Daxter, Skyrim, racist.
Okay. So again,
I should have done Spider-Man. I didn't think about that. Damn.
So glad you didn't say Spider-Man either, because that trilogy, I hold near and dear to me.
Yeah.
And I'll say this: if it were not for this show, this cartoon, I doubt I would have been introduced into the nerd culture and world the way that I was.
Yeah.
And watched these on repeat with my dad constantly. Those were, again, some of the more bonding experiences. And I'm pretty sure it was because of this that he and I went on our what ended up being the first of many comic trips on weekends. Like, we would go to comic shops and then go to these what were retro at the time stores, and now they've got even more things in them. But if not for this, I probably wouldn't have gave a damn about the nerd world. So I'm gonna have to give it to X-Men.
Yeah, we kind of have that in common a little bit, just because it was the first comic book thing that I ever watched, was that original series. Just like my cousins had them on as a kid, they were always watching it, and I wasn't as into it yet, but it is kind of what brought me into that world. And I do remember my cousins being like, you need to be Wolverine. We need a Wolverine. And I'm like, no, I want to be Nightcrawler. Fuck Wolverine. I say that, but fuck Wolverine. I want to be Nightcrawler, damn it.
Yeah, I always kind of saw myself more as a Beast, if anything.
Beast is good. I liked Beast a lot too, I think, as a kid. I think there was something about the blue people. The blue people that I was yeah, that's it.
So you love the Smurfs and Avatar?
I actually did like the Smurfs. I also did like Smurfs as a kid.
Okay.
So, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that was difficult. I was gonna say, is the next question more difficult, or what do we got?
We have one more here. If you could make a movie based on anything, what would it be and why? Any adaptation of anything.
wearing the wrong shirt for this. I mean, this might be a basic answer. I don't know, but when I was going through, when I was going through film school, and I even have a thing where I even have something that I'm in the process of writing right now that I haven't fully revealed yet, but I started a thing for an MMA movie a while back, just writing one of those, and I was like, how can I intermix some more things that I like from just other bits of pop culture into this? And I started thinking further, and it didn't take me long to land on the realization that, you know what, I would love to do a prime age Ted Grant movie. Like, I would love to do that. Like, and I even wrote out a thing for it too. I think you might be muted again because I'm not hearing you unless you're silent. Okay. All right, cool. Sorry, I got worried for a second.
Okay. Okay, here's what I'm curious. If I put Ted Grant in that roster, would it have won over X-Men or no?
No.
No? Okay.
No.
I was
well, Wildcat, but no.
I should have put him over Skyrim, I think. I think Skyrim was my one dud there, where I was like, yeah, that one was easy.
I mean, okay, so this might sound mean, but even if you did, that probably would have still been the first thing that I would have kicked.
What, Ted Grant?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Fair enough.
Out of those three, it probably would have been.
Fair enough.
But no, I mean, that's my easy answer, because I mean, it'd be cheap, it'd be practical. I was really into boxing growing up, so I would pay homage to a lot of those characteristics, a lot of those traits. And there are even people around me here that I graduated with that I know would be down for it if I were to make a call. So
incredible stuff. But with that being said, you have obviously passed our Creator Spotlight segment. Good job. And we're going to head into a couple of news stories. I actually don't know how much you care about any of these stories, if I'm being honest. But I do think they're all at least I think they are at least an interesting conversation to be had. Nonetheless, the first one coming out today, it's two franchises I actually don't necessarily love that much, but I am curious about its consequences in the sphere of entertainment around this era. So, newly announced Minecraft sequel shares the same date as upcoming Simpsons film. So they officially announced today that Minecraft will be getting a sequel officially in July. I think it's July 7th. Yeah. I actually forgot to write the exact date down.
I think it's like a week after the Superman sequel.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think Superman is at the beginning of the month, and then towards the end of the month we're getting Minecraft and we're getting Simpsons, and so we are slowly building out our new super month that we kind of had this year, where it was like, okay, what's going to win? Is it going to be Superman, Jurassic Park, or Fantastic Four? Now it's The Simpsons, Minecraft, and Superman. Which is a wild combination. What a weird
Very
combo.
wild. Very wild.
Very wild, very weird.
We don't really have anything like that for 2026, do we?
Oh, I bet there is. I bet there's...
No, we probably just don't know yet.
I mean, around the May, June, July area, we have Minions and Toy Story and Supergirl and Spider-Man and Odyssey. Yeah. I'd argue worse.
I don't know why I said that. Oh, yeah, I'm just realizing now. Yeah, holy shit! Next summer is stacked.
We are going to be busy.
Yeah. Man, I'm definitely going to see 3 of those in theaters.
Yeah.
Hell, I'm probably going to go with my niece and nephew to see Toy Story also, so that's probably going to be 4. Man, sure. my wallet's going to hurt.
Yeah, I'm curious about... Okay, let's just talk about it. I don't have much to say, but yes, there's a new Minecraft movie. I did not like the first Minecraft movie that came out. People did, though. Did it make $1 billion? Or was it right under?
It did.
It did make $1 billion. Yeah. Okay.
So
I don't know if people so much like the movie so much as the experience. I think that might be what people enjoyed more. Maybe I'm wrong on that though.
I think not necessarily our demographic, but I do think people really enjoyed it. I think people had a good time with it.
Yeah, I never saw it, so
I never played the game either, though, so it also just was not my. It wasn't my bag. It wasn't my fandom. I was in the theater when people are yelling their chicken jockeys and they're doing their shit, and I'm like, what the hell is happening? I don't know what we're doing. But a sequel was inevitable. It was going to happen.
Right. It made too much money.
It made too much money. They were going to do it.
Yeah. I played the game a little bit when it came out. I'm not going to pretend I was ever like the biggest fan of the franchise, but you know, I appreciated it as like a fun time waster, you know, fuck around game. And it was a creative outlet. And a little side note, I don't understand how this is the case, but there were channels that blew up playing Minecraft when I started my old channel. That was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And those channels are still playing Minecraft today. Like, I don't understand how you could play the same game for 10 years. I don't get it.
Those channels are still very... I guess it's just the idea that, like, anything is possible, right? You can kind of do whatever you want in there, and, you know... imaginations change and morph, and
I just feel like if I were stuck playing one game for 10 years, I would want to end myself. I feel like I would just hate it.
Especially when you're a streamer where you are like, that's every day. You are streaming every single day for usually hours on end, for multiple hours. Like, I shout out to Twitch streamers, because like, there's those statements where it's like content creation isn't a real job, and sometimes I somewhat agree depending on what you do. That is a real job. You are working your ass off. I do not like shout out to those guys. Hours. You are putting in I could never do. Although we've done a lot as well in what we do, but still, it's like that is a lot with what you're doing.
And I always fear, you know, if that would end up being my, you know, full-time source of income, would I grow to hate it? That's what I always fear.
Sure.
Like, would I grow to hate it? And I don't want to hate it.
Yeah. Speaking of hate, we potentially have a casting for a very hateful character, potentially. Scarlett Johansson is potentially in talks to play Mother Gothel, an upcoming Tangled adaptation for Disney. So we talked about this a little earlier. We talked about this a little bit earlier in the council Discord. Do you like Tangled at all? Just as a movie, have you seen it? Are you a fan?
It's been a long time. I don't mind the movie. It's fine. I'm not gonna say I love it, but
okay, fair enough. Fair enough. I'm a big fan of that first movie. Or
that's fair.
The only movie. I guess there is only one movie. I don't know why I said first movie. But I love that first movie. I saw it in I said it again. God damn it. I saw it in theaters. I was a huge fan of it. I liked what I saw of the show as well. I thought the show was very good. Scarlett Johansson's an interesting choice, I'd say. Scarlett Johansson's not my first choice for it. I also don't think it's a bad choice though either. I'm not like this is preposterous. How dare she, do this? I gotta see what I gotta see if it's confirmed first, because it's not confirmed yet. She could, decline the offer. Maybe it's all bullshit to begin with. We don't know.
It could be just people making stuff up.
Could be. It came from a pretty decent. I think it was Variety, but also Variety's been kind of weird lately. Like
Variety or Discussing Film.
I think Discussing Film like posted on it, but I think it was a Variety source, if I'm not mistaken.
Gotcha.
Variety's weird though, because they used to be very reliable, and now they're doing their clickbait shit where you have to really read.
Now they got up in the whole AMPTP shit.
It's interesting. I think what's really holding me back with this casting is I was really, really into the idea of Catherine Hahn
as Mother Gothel.
Yeah.
That's her. They are the same character. It is kind of scary how close they are, and I think she would kill that role. ScarJo, I think, will be fine though. If
there was another one that I had in mind, I just don't know if this actress would be too aged or not.
See you, Dalton. Thanks for hanging out.
Because there was someone else I did have in mind when we were talking about it. I just didn't say it, but so I could see what you were talking about with Catherine Hahn, but I also thought of Helena Bonham Carter.
Okay.
That was another one I thought of. For anybody who doesn't know, that's Bellatrix Lestrange in Harry Potter.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And I feel like she could play that role as well. Maybe that's a little bit of a typecast, but if they wanted to do that role, I could see it. But is ScarJo the worst choice?
It's not.
No.
Yeah.
And I mean, really, we can't say if somebody's a bad choice or not because we haven't seen the movie. We all thought Rachel was going to be the worst thing about Snow White and Gal was going to be the best thing. Look at how that turned out.
Yeah. No, I think she will do well. Like, I think Scarlett Johansson, in my mind, I'm like, I don't really like her. That's not true. I actually do really like Scarlett Johansson. She just sometimes does not get a great chance to show her abilities. When she has a good script and a good director, she kills it. She's just in so many of the biggest blockbuster kind of popcorn flicky movies to ever be made. I forget that she is a wonderful actress. Right, I love her and her brand, performance in that movie. Yeah,
the brand is often more the focus than she is.
100%. And this is kind of an extension of that too. She was just named one of the highest paid actors on the planet recently.
Higher than The Rock now.
With Jurassic World, this is the very possibly $1 billion movie right here.
Oh yeah.
She's just going to add that into it. It's possible it could get a sequel. We're going to get more Jurassic World movies. She could possibly do more Marvel. She is good on the money. She is doing very, very well for herself.
She's not struggling.
No, she could get at this point. She can do really anything she wants in Hollywood. She could get any role she wants at this point. She's probably one of.
They could have done a sequel to Transformers 1, but not enough people went to fucking see it.
Yeah. At this point. Yeah. I don't know. I'm curious to see if this is true, what they're going to do with that movie. It's officially moving forward again. Obviously, there were some speculations after Snow White didn't do very well, and I told people then, I was like, I know you're getting excited about that, but Lilo and Stitch is still yet to come out, and that came out and it made $1 billion, and that changed everything. I think that's where they were. We're we're going to take a break, see how that does. If it does well, we will move forward with all the other ones that we want to do.
Even though I've heard people had mixed opinions on that movie.
I didn't love it.
I haven't seen it.
You don't need to. Harrison said, I'll be on the record saying I have no faith. I had no faith in Gal. Everything after the first Wonder Woman, LOL.
Fair enough.
I'm not a huge Gal.
I heard that one change that they did to that one character in Lilo and Stitch. I'm like, that's stupid. And then I just didn't go see it.
I like it in theory, not execution. I see what they were trying to do. But there's so many underlining things where I'm like, that kind of just sucks.
Especially when you completely exclude that one other character. I'm like, okay, this was just ill-conceived.
I'm not to get too much into the weeds on this. I am excited for the sequel though. I'm excited for you to do your own thing, right? You're not adapting a direct sequel. You have one of the original people back on, I think, writing the script for it. That makes me more confident as well. And that was the whole reason I wanted this movie to begin with. I was like, okay, get the first movie done, whatever. Now you can explore an entire world and all these aliens and all these creatures. It could be very cool in theory. So I'm excited to see what they do. I think they're going to get a trilogy on that fast because they need to do stuff before that child grows up too fast. That's why they're doing it so fast, I think. But
we know the second film's going to be different just because of the nature of that one character and the way that they're portrayed in said second movie. So you know there's going to be some differences and some liberties taken.
Yeah, no, I think they have not once adapted a straight to DVD sequel. So I think with sequels, I'm always just
Yeah.
I'm always more excited for that. I'm always way more excited to see what new thing you're adapting, because that's always like, to me, I want to skip the first reboot movie and go straight to the second one because I want something fresh and new and exciting.
And like, I feel like that's kind of what we got with Mufasa last year.
I enjoyed Mufasa a lot. I had a great time with it.
Yeah, and just the premise was kind of like, okay, this is in that gap of time that we all already know. That's when it's taking place in, but it's a story that's being told, and that alone sold me on the continuity thing that everybody was freaking out about.
Agreed. Lance said, "Oh, and we're all together tomorrow. Prove it, Lance."
Why can't we be all together tonight?
Tony said Lilo and Stitch is what happens when you get a Disney Plus. That is also another fantastic fact.
Yeah.
It not only made $1 billion, it had like what
not even 200 million.
It was like 100. Wasn't it less than 100? It was like.
It was right around there.
30. It was like 130. It was something really, really cheap. It was a really cheap movie, and it looked not amazing. It wasn't not going to win any awards, but it looked decent. It didn't look like a Disney Plus movie. Yeah. So like they did well.
I mean, I remember when we reacted with Jordan to the whole T23 thing, and they said like, "Hey, this is coming out into theaters," because prior to then it was going to be a straight to streaming movie, and we were like, "This is terrible. Why would you do it with something that's this big?"
Yeah.
And thankfully they listened, got their head out of their ass, and it made $1 billion. Or wait. Did it make the $1 billion, or did it almost?
It made $1 billion. Yeah,
okay.
It did. I think Lilo and Stitch and Minecraft were the only two this year that did officially make the $1 billion.
Wait, Sinners didn't?
No.
It
did well, but it didn't make $1 billion.
That's crazy that those are the only two that did.
I think something else came close, but yeah, I think those are the only two. But yeah, no, like they've been very smart with those, and we'll move on here in a second, I promise. But like they. They moved Lilo and Stitch to be theaters. That made $1 billion. Moana 2 went to theaters after being a streaming show. That also made $1 billion. So now I'm just curious about Mandalorian and Grogu, which was a Disney Plus show. What does that make for them in the theater? Because, like, say what you want about Bob Iger, he's been making good moves. Those were good decisions as a CEO. Decisions that we weren't seeing from Disney in quite a few years. So
yeah.
And then this last thing here, expanding the Stitchverse could make money. Love the cartoon back in the day with all. Yeah, I'm interested to see what new things they have in store. Okay, one last thing I wanted to talk about here today. Not news. There was an Arrowverse thing that happened this week that I wanted to bring up. I don't know if you've seen this clip. There was a talk show host, John Oliver, had a segment on one of his shows that there was a scene from an Arrowverse show that he called one of the greatest scenes in television history. Have you seen this?
No.
Okay, great. I'm super excited for this. So John Oliver called a scene from the Arrowverse one of the greatest scenes in television history.
Is it actually a scene that deserves it?
That's what I was going to ask you. What do you think this scene is?
Okay.
And what do you think it should be? And then I'll show you the clip.
Can I ask what show it's from?
No. You have to guess.
So I feel like I know what it should be, but it's probably going to be some stupid answer because I can already see you laughing.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I mean, the whole I wanted to and I liked it exchange comes to mind, but I feel like that's not it. You know what? The more great scenes I name and you're like, nope, the more painful it's going to get. So let's just bite the bullet and get it over with. What do we got?
See it? Okay. So I made this tweet.
So help me God if it's the Barack Obama scene.
So yes, it was a John Oliver clip.
I'm a goddamn psychic. I called that right before it started. Oh, someone owes me money.
I saw it on Reddit. I just saw like a Reddit post like John Oliver shouted out Legends of Tomorrow. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? What do you mean? Like, what do you mean Legends of Tomorrow was on the John Oliver show? And I did have a feeling. I was like, that's the Barack Obama clip, isn't it?
I was hoping you hadn't seen it.
I mean, at least they didn't include Brendan Routh's line that came afterward.
The Run Barry Run. I love that scene so fucking much. I love it so much, and I love the like, "Make America Great Again."
Man, okay. I have a lot of problems with Legends. At least it owned the shift that it did.
I love it.
Like from season 4 onward, it was a completely different show, and it owned it. I will give it that. It owned it. That doesn't mean I like the change that they did, because for a show called DC's Legends of Tomorrow, it's astonishing how little DC content there was in there in the later seasons. Mm-hmm. But it owned what it was, or what it was changing into. So I'll give it that.
Yeah, I have my issues with Legends. I have my fair share of them. That scene is not one of them. That's one of my favorites. So the entire show, it's so stupid. I think that was the point. They were like experimenting with how far they could go. Like season, like that back half of season 3, they were like, "Oh, can we go goofy?" And then by the end, they did the Bebo shift.
Yeah.
And after that, they were like, "Oh, people like it. All right, let's go. Let's ramp it up to 1 million."
Because that's when they had like the fucking Bebo going against that time demon, wasn't it?
Yeah. Which I like it. I actually do like it there, because I think it fits within the tone of what they were trying to do there. After that point is when it starts to lose me a little bit.
Yeah, and it could have been so good, like hunting down all those different creatures and shit. That could have been so good, but man, that 4th season was something else.
Yeah,
I called it. Yeah, I just guessed, because I saw Darren laughing when I started naming out, legitimately good scenes. I'm like, oh no, it's some stupid shit at it. Okay, you know what? At least it was not the Flash with lightsabers.
Yeah. Cameron, send it again. Send it to my DMs, and I'll look at it. But that was interesting. I was like, that came out. I was like, I have to talk about it with Jake. I have to do it. I was hoping that you didn't see it. I was like, this is great. But yeah, with that being said, I think we're gonna be hopping into our main meat and potatoes here today. We are going to be talking about some Marvel Cinematic Universe movies. We are now chugging along the MCU phase 3. We launched phase 3 last time with Captain America Civil War, which is a very, very good movie. We had a great time talking about that. We're fully diving in now. We are in the brisks of it. It feels weird to be this far in already. Like, I've been doing it for a year, but it doesn't feel like it. It feels like I just started doing these.
You combined them after a while too. So
I started. That definitely has helped get through them a lot faster for sure.
Yeah.
Next month we're doing 3, so that would definitely jump us ahead a few bit. But yeah, we're going to talk about. First of all, we're going to talk about Doctor Strange from 2016. Now, again, this is one of, I assume, your favorite movies in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. You kind of told me, like, when I started, he's like, when you do Doctor Strange, let me in. I was like, aye, Captain, I will let you in. And I was very curious about this one, because and I'll let you like give your history with it in a second here, but like I don't know why I had only seen this movie once previously to this, to rewatching it for this. I had seen it once, and I remember having a good time with it when I watched it that one time. But I think somewhere in between me not watching it for what is nearly 10 years or 8 years, I don't know when I watched it. I changed my mind. I don't know why.
Next year will be 10 years since it's come out.
Which is crazy. And we'll probably talk about that. But like, I think I convinced myself that it was a bad movie somewhere around the track. I think a lot of my friends did not like the movie. A lot of my, people around me were like, yeah, Doctor Strange. It's not a movie that's talked about much. I feel like in the MCU fandom, I guess we talk a lot about 2. We talk a lot about the sequel. But we don't talk a lot about this one in particular. But what's your history with Doctor Strange 2016, Jake? What's your vibe on it?
So going into it, I I feel like I was kind of one of those, one of the smaller, in that smaller crowd of people that knew the Doctor Strange character and was familiar with him. And it was actually in what is one of probably my all-time favorite Marvel comics now still, which is actually a kind of a duo story. It's called Doctor Strange and Doctor Doom: Triumph and Torment. I would heavily recommend people go read that if they haven't. And I for the longest time I hoped that they would do that in the movies, but I would wager they probably won't. But reading that comic, then seeing the character in the Spider-Man '90s cartoon, and then getting exposed to that character and the whole Sanctum Sanctorum world in the Marvel Ultimate Alliance game was where I got a lot of my fix for that character too. And then back in 2009, I want to say, is when they came out with an animated Doctor Strange movie. It was made by the same crew from Lionsgate that made things like the next Avengers film, the Hulk versus little mini movies. They made but I know it was made by that same crew, and I just became more and more fascinated with the character. And I remember the day that first teaser came out, where you see him with the cloak. He's kind of in the shadow, and you see the big window of the Sanctum Sanctorum behind him. And I fell even more in love with the character. And when that first film came out, I was just kind of blown away by it. It visually, I think it's still one of, if not the best looking MCU movie. Just I love how they do the style of having those kaleidoscope visuals that look like an Escher painting brought to the big screen, and it really trips up your mind the more you watch it. And you're as you're watching through, you're like, wait, where does the real world connect? And you think but then there's that one bit that trips you up. And I love how movies can do that even upon rewatches, how you don't 100% know things that go on. I think Benedict Cumberbatch absolutely knocks it out of the park in the role. And even more so, I think, in the second film, but he definitely puts a good mark on the MCU in this first movie. And what I love too is that this movie kind of takes his origin story here is kind of a combination of like Iron Man, Captain America, and Thor. Because like with Iron Man, he starts out as somebody that is only interested in himself, doesn't want to help anybody, doesn't really care about what happens to the world around him.
Yeah.
So he has that kind of self-secludedness. And then you have Captain America, who has that old-fashioned wholesomeness, who wants to help everybody no matter what. And Thor, who has that arrogance and thinks that he, knows best and is like the best one to handle everything before he eventually gets humbled and then taught a series of lessons. And Doctor Strange's origin is kind of a mix of all three of those.
Yeah.
Like, he wants to help people as a doctor, but he's also, a little bit arrogant, thinks that he knows best and knows more than anybody else. And that's carried on into the second film too, in a great way. But he also has, that hard lesson that he needs to learn, and then eventually grows to help people in a different way. And I also love the score for this movie. It's one of my favorite scores in the entire MCU. Some of Michael Giacchino's best work in recent years. Of course, he scored films like The Incredibles, The Batman. Recently, he did Fantastic Four: First Steps. I love his score for this movie. I think it is a really underrated one of his, and not one that I see people talk about enough. And I mean, I could go into a whole spiel really, but I love the whole world building of Kamar-Taj. Just that, just the environments that they put you in are able to, they make you feel like you're there. Like whether you're in the temple with the Ancient One, or whether you're in like the catacombs with the Forbidden Books, it makes it feel like a real place that you want to jump into the frame and explore. And I love how they do that. And maybe this one's a hot take. I think this movie, actually both Doctor Strange films, do a much better job at displaying magic and wizardry than the Harry Potter movies do.
Oh, wow.
Because especially in the last couple Harry Potter films, it's kind of just like they're holding, AK-47s disguised as wands. Is basically what they do in the last couple films. Whereas this one, you see the actual runes that they make. You see the difficulty in making a portal. You get the visual whenever he, wraps time around his wrist. This has always been one of my favorite MCU films from not only a story sense, but from a musical and visual sense as well.
Yeah, I how do I feel? I feel like you are clearly definitely much more attached to it than me. So you are definitely going to be coming in here with a lot more passion than I would. But no, I definitely enjoyed it a lot more this time around than I did the first time. And that's probably also just helped by we've got more Strange since I saw it last. I am just more attached to the character than I am last time I saw it. We've had, an Infinity War, we've had an Endgame, we've had say what you want about What If, but we have one of the greatest pieces of Marvel content that What If gave us, and that involves Doctor Strange, and he's the villain of the second season.
I'd say that was the best episode of What If.
Easily the best episode. It is. I'd argue it's almost a masterpiece. I love that episode.
Oh, I agree.
And then you have a Spider-Man No Way Home, which he plays a big part of. And so,
and a lot of people crap on his role in that movie. People dunk on his role. They say, why would a grown man do this? And for a while, I had that same question, but then Multiverse of Madness kind of answered that question. Where why would a grown man just go along with the whims of a high schooler? That second movie, again, not to get lost in the weeds on it, but that second movie lays it flat out on the table. Strange is dangerous. He's arrogant. He thinks he knows best and that he can handle anything, and that arrogance comes back to bite him.
Yeah, no, for sure. And he's definitely very Strange is a lonely character, is what I'd probably say. He doesn't want to admit it, but he does want friends. He does want people to like him. He wants to be admired. That's his whole thing. And I do kind of like that his arc hasn't necessarily finished necessarily.
Nope.
We introduce an arc for him, and he definitely grows from where he is, but he's still an arrogant prick by the end of the movie. He's still kind of a douche. And he's yet to technically, to finish that, or a really super, in a huge way, grow from that. And
we'll see if that hypothetical third movie can.
I am very curious because, despite this movie next year, what is it? A year from now, I'm pretty sure, right? Will be 10 years old.
Yep, 2016.
We will have had this actor in the role for almost 10 years. Before long, he will have grossed Robert Downey in terms of his time. Well, I guess not anymore because they're all coming back. But in their original runs in Endgame, he would have surpassed their runs as playing these characters for the amount of time. He's been doing this for a while. Typically, I would be like, oh, maybe it's time to say goodbye. But I feel like he's barely started. I want a third movie. I'd probably watch a fourth. I want him to do I feel like we barely scratched the surface of what I want from Doctor Strange in the MCU. And that does scare me a little bit because how much more does he want to do? Because again, he's been doing it for 10 years. If he said tomorrow, I'm getting a little tired, I'd be fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah. So.
And I mean, his character, the whole world of just his whole world that they could go to, the different, planes. Here's a little bit of a thing here. Say this third movie, I really want them to explore the bits of the dark dimension where Charlize Theron's character that you see at the end of the second movie, Clea. I want them to explore that, and maybe they could do this. Might be a bit of a tenuous time, but they could even connect his whole side of the world if they wanted to bring a version of an Iron Fist back, kind of like what we saw in Eyes of Wakanda. If they wanted to connect his world to Kunlun, I'd love to see that as well, because those worlds have been connected in Marvel media before. I think in the Ultimate Spider-Man cartoon, they did it in a way, but I think there's so much more you can do with that character and just a lot of different, bits of ancient magic history that you can explore. That's been one of the most fascinating things about those movies for me is how they tell their history of all these different dark creatures and sorcerers and forbidden spells and things like that. That's been one of my favorite things about that series of projects that he's been in.
Yeah, I think my main takeaway when watching this movie was just how underutilized the magic world has been in the MCU up until this point. Because you are right, like it definitely does have that like almost Hogwarts-esque kind of vibe that we don't get a lot in that second movie for obvious reasons. It's not focused on that, obviously. But like I like where we're sitting in here and we're training these characters and we have characters just kind of living here. I'm like, I do kind of want like Harry Potter, but this, like I kind of want like again, it's been rumored for a while that like Strange Academy show or we're gonna give it to Wong instead. I'm like, I kind of really want it after rewatching this movie because there is this vibe and this feeling that like if you can add that like that fun and whimsy that you get with Harry Potter, but add that Marvel splash of color to make it its own, I think that would be a hit. I think it would do well, especially with how controversial the actual Harry Potter show is right now. I'd be very funny if we're like, hey, let's all just watch that one instead. Let's watch the other one.
And I mean, they've kind of done things like that where they take something that already exists and that exists in fiction already and put their own Marvel splash on it. Because for anybody who doesn't know, and again, I know this is not related to the first movie. It's just the first thing I thought of.
Sure.
The sequence in close to the beginning of the second movie, whenever they're fighting that monster out on the street, that is essentially the character Shuma Gorath, for anybody who knows that character in Marvel. But they couldn't call it that character for rights reasons. So they kind of took a character from like H.P. Lovecraft and then splashed that Marvel kind of candy coating on it. And then mix those two different things. So if you can do that with more things in fiction, take something that already exists in fiction, and then put a bit of Marvel coloring on it to make it a clear adaptation of insert thing here, then I feel like that's a way to keep the franchise fresh.
Sure. Yeah, no.
I hope that made sense.
No, 100%. And like, again, like this is something I was thinking about, I think today, or like while I was watching it, I was like, there are just these worlds that Marvel introduced especially in Phase 3 that I want to see explored more. Like I want to see the magic world more. I want to see like Wakanda explored in a bigger way. Like they create these fascinating worlds that we're not setting shows in, I think because of probably price, probably because it'd be very expensive, mainly. But I do think it is it is kind of sad that we can't just kind of live in these worlds that they invented. I don't know why, like, again, maybe they have because I've never been there, but like Disney World isn't doing stuff with this. Like this feels like a little section. Like this movie feels like you could build a section around this in Disney World where you can go play with magic and shit like that. Like that sounds awesome as well.
They might. I haven't been to Disney World since 2007, so it's probably
maybe
changed.
they do. I have no idea. Like I know they have like a Marvel section now where it's just the Marvel shit. So like if they don't, they definitely should.
and I imagine Universal's probably got something to that same build as well. Because little side note, the year I went to Universal was like right after the Avengers came out, so it was stacked with a bunch of different Marvel paraphernalia. You walk into one of the stores and there's like a 7-foot Iron Man statue at the front of the door. If I thought they were loaded back then, they're probably chock full now. But to what you were talking about with living in some of those worlds, like your commentaries, your Wakanda, your places like that. I think that's been one of the biggest missed opportunities with a lot of the shows is that they don't really introduce us to a world a lot of the time. It's just your average run-of-the-mill looking city. But it's just a city. There's nothing special about it. It's like, we're spending a lot of time here. You could tell stories within this place, which is like on the Star Wars side of things. That's what I love about Andor so much is that it's world building a bunch. And with Marvel, they haven't really done that. I mean, WandaVision kind of did it, but then it was a fake city. And honestly, that's one of the things that even though I enjoyed Eyes of Wakanda, I was hoping we would actually get to spend more time in Wakanda
in
itself.
Wakanda. Yeah,
And
you're
we
kind of
really
not there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. And I think, like, not to get in the weeds of it, but like Miss Marvel is so close to doing that. Like, you jump in the first episode and it's so vibrant and fun and colorful, and then they go, back to where she's from and stuff like that. And that was also really colorful and cool.
Yeah.
But it's just for the 2 episodes. So you can't explore either of them because you're trying to do both. And it's like, if you just stayed in one spot, guys, just pick one of the locations to stay in and you're good.
Yeah. You could do that with the Thor movies too. I feel like that's been one of the biggest missed opportunities with those movies. There are so many realms you could go to, like whether it's Asgard, like the bits that connect the Bifrost together, because it's way bigger than the first movie made it out to be.
I miss Asgard. I miss just being there, like that being a place we can just explore and be.
Yeah.
Oh man.
And there are other realms you can go to, and like I have my criticisms with Ragnarok, definitely. But there were at least other worlds that they introduced, and even though I despised Love and Thunder, we finally went to Olympus. So it's like I want to see more of the world building, and I say we finally went
video game. Give me a Thor video game where I could just be in all the like locations, and you can go to all the worlds. You could like explore Asgard and keep your treasures there, and upgrade your. Oh man, that'd be so much fun.
I've been saying that they need to work with Santa Monica Studio, the guys that made the God of War games, and they need to do a Thor game. That would be my pitch for a Thor game: is work with those guys, get that story, world building, and everything mixed together. Mm-hmm. That's how you do a game for him. Because I mean, the only thing you've really got right now is the one based off the first movie, and that game is dog shit.
That was from the Wii, right? That was like the Wii, PlayStation, 2 or 3?
Wii, PS3, DS. That game's terrible. A lot of they stopped doing movie games for MCU after Phase 1. Because like you had Iron Man, bad. Iron Man 2, bad. Incredible Hulk, fine. Thor was bad, and Cap 1 was fine.
Yeah. And then I haven't played any of those. That'd be fun to do at some point. Just play through all the bad MCU games. I had like a Thor mobile game at some point that I had for a while, which was kind of, at the time at least, I thought it was really cool the way they did it. But again, it was a mobile game, so it couldn't have been that good. But I would definitely. I think you nailed it with the visuals of this movie. I actually kind of mixed on the visuals, because I think on one hand, when it's anything magic based, I think it's gorgeous. I'm sitting here being like, oh, this is some of the best the MCU has probably ever looked. It is gorgeous. It is, obviously you have that very iconic scene when Agent 1 does the head thing and he pushes through and he comes back in, and then they do and they do it again and he's flying through the multiverse. Maybe one of the most beautiful sequences the MCU has ever done. That is what I'm asking for right now with the MCU, to do new, interesting, dynamic things with their visuals. That was beautiful.
Yeah. And we were at that point in the MCU. It was in Phase 3. And they showed that they could still make distinct projects with their own feels. They showed they could still do it.
Yeah.
So there's no reason why they can't now.
I will say, though, and again, I am not like I don't know like cinematography. I didn't go to school for it. I will not be one of those people where it's like, actually, it should look like. I'm not going to do that. There were some shots though within it that looked very white to me. They looked very gray sometimes, and that was more so just your like when you peer across the streets, or when you do those skyline shots. It's like I kind of wish they had a little. I wish they looked a little different sometimes. But again, I'm not an expert. I'm not going to sit here and be like, you should do this. I was like, I do think this is kind of in that era where some of the Marvel movies, in terms of that look, started to look kind of similar.
Yeah.
The Russo brother effects is kind of full in display at this point. And
there was a lot of gray color coding.
A lot of that's the exact word I'm looking for. Yeah, a lot of it looked very gray to me. And again, I think I only noticed it so much here because when this movie looks good, it looks insanely good. Yeah. It is beautiful. And so, like, when you go from a scene like that straight to, like, the city streets that look super gray, it's like, oh, I don't really like to look at that, guys. I don't know.
And plus, especially as those movies got on, the city streets kind of just became dead streets. Like, they were just drops for the fights to happen on. It's like there were no people in them. There was nothing going on.
Yeah.
I was like, this is okay. Like, you're drawing the line of realism a little too thin here.
I love the Russos, but I do think that was in some ways there. I think they were the ones that really started that dynamic.
Yeah, because like Infinity War, that one shot where you've got Tony, Bruce, Strange.
Yeah, where is everybody? Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I really enjoyed this one for the most part. I'm going through the cast. Again, I like Strange here a lot. Would you say this is his best movie, or do you think he has a better one?
Just like from an acting standpoint?
I'd say from like a character standpoint.
I
feel like I might say Infinity War is my favorite from him. Now that I think about it, like, I really love him in there.
Honestly, maybe this one's a hot take, but also is not going to be surprising for me. I think Multiverse of Madness might be his best one for me.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
I just love the journey that movie takes him on.
Yeah, I'll say, actually, like, now I'm thinking about it, I don't think Strange has necessarily had like a bad outing necessarily.
No.
I guess outside of like What If Season 2, which I was not a fan with what they did with.
Yeah. I struggle to count that,
Strange.
though.
Yeah, I know for sure. Yeah, like, I'm thinking, like, okay, he's pretty solid here. He's not my favorite. I actually will say, I think Strange is at his best when he's bouncing off of other characters. I think that's his strength. Like, in this movie, when he's bouncing off Christine or Wong or even, like, Mordor, that's when he's at his best.
Yeah.
And then you go into, like, Infinity War, and it's like when he's bouncing off Tony and Peter.
Tony or Spider-Man, yeah.
He's very much like Captain Marvel, where, like, those two were, like, they work at when they are surrounded by a good cast. And that does not mean they are bad characters, but they need interesting characters to bounce off of to make them interesting themselves. And I think he is one of those.
Difference is, I feel like Strange can still work on his own.
Sure. I guess I need another outing from him again.
Yeah.
To really
I just never felt that a character like Carol did work on her own.
She hasn't yet, I guess is what I'd say. Because, yeah, I didn't love her in that first movie, and I did like her in the second movie when she's with, like, the Monica, and, like, I loved her in Endgame when she's with, like, Thor and stuff like that as well. Like, I like those dynamics a lot.
Yeah.
I guess that's a fair point. But yeah, I liked him here. I really loved the, like, medical elements of this movie as well. I think it's that kind of stuff that makes these movies feel unique and fresh. It's something this is now 13 movies deep into the MCU, keeping those things fresh and new and exciting. So I thought that was cool. Yeah.
And they even tie it into the existing world, because, like, right as soon as the crash is happening, like, right beforehand, you hear on the radio, like, they're talking about, Stark and the, like, bits of Sokovia and all that. So, like, you're hearing the stuff that makes you remember, oh, you're in a lived-in world here where all this other stuff's happening. But they do it so subtly, but not enough to take the focus away from Strange and his story. And the whole medical bit you were referencing, I love one of my favorite sequences in the movie is whenever he's in his astral form and he's, like, directing her through the surgery. Yeah, I love that scene.
Yeah, no, I like that scene a lot as well, and I think Christine, I think she works as a love interest quotes, right?
Yeah.
I think she works. She doesn't have much personality outside of Strange. Like, she does do. A lot of the MCU kind of struggled with their romance department, but it does kind of feel just like, oh, she is the love interest, and then it's like, okay, but who is she outside of Strange? It's like, what?
Yeah.
No. Like,
she was never my favorite character. And the whole time I was watching that movie the first time, and every time we see her, no joke, I'm there wondering, where's Clea? And then into the second movie, you finally get Clea. So we'll see what happens there.
Yeah, and, like, I definitely do respect it though, because they could have easily, like, at the end of the movie had that kiss of like reuniting their thing. But I think it is a story about not everything is meant to work, not everything is meant to be. And as much as I want this to be, you are still not the man I need you to be, and I can't do this as much as I want to. Like, I like that stuff a lot.
Yeah.
Could have used a little bit more time. Sure. Maybe. Time they didn't have though.
It's like that whole thing where they say some people are only meant to be in your life for a season, and that's kind of what that's
what they were. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting, and then we'll probably talk about this if we ever get to 2. But like, I do like the alternate shit we do with them in the second movie, where it's like we mirror the effects of what it's going to be, and I also think that is kind of interesting.
Yeah,
as well.
I mean, that's I think one of the stronger parts of 2 is she sets him on that path. Where she says, "I've always respected the fact that you had to hold the knife, but I couldn't love you for it." It's like I love how she kind of sets him in a place there, and then he eventually goes on to realize that he doesn't have to be the one that's in control. He doesn't always know best.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
We had Mordo in here as well, which interesting character for sure. I do remember watching this for the first time, and like everyone being like, "Oh, he's going to be the villain for the second movie." I was like, oh, "Okay, cool."
And he technically was a villain, but a very different villain.
You think we're done with that whole thing, or do you think they might ever circle back around and do that for like our version of the character?
I would like for them not to be done.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
But like, because I would like to actually see that pay off, because they say in Multiverse of Madness, they say, "Oh, he's been trying to kill me for all this amount of years, and we've been fighting each other on repeat." And I'm sitting here thinking, right, like, we need to see that at some point.
That's kind of sad that it's an off-screen developments. That'd be interesting. But like, again, I don't know Doctor Strange comics whatsoever. Like, it's probably one of the characters I'm probably least familiar with outside of the MCU. But like, 3 doesn't seem like it'd be that either. Like, 3 seems like it's going in a completely different direction.
Yeah, so
if we do 3 at all at this point, like,
so I'll make this prediction right now. Maybe I'm right, maybe I'm not. But with Charlize Theron's character Clea, she hails from the dark dimension. I doubt the movie is going to be called like Doctor Strange and the Dark Dimension or something like that. I doubt that's the title. It'd be hilarious if I just called it right now. But there's a character like, obviously Dormammu, is very prominent there, which is another character that feels a little bit wasted after this movie.
Mm-hmm.
But what I think would be a really compelling villain for Strange to go against to kind of further deal with those insecurities is the villain Nightmare that you see. And he's been in Marvel Comics before. He was in the Ultimate Spider-Man cartoon. He's even been in a game or two, some obscure ones. But I feel like that'd be a good villain for him to go up against. Is that going to happen? Who knows? But it'd be funny if I called it just now.
That wasn't the person from X-Men, right? That was a different character? X-Men. From 97? That was a different character, right?
What character are you thinking of?
I'm thinking of the one with Storm. That was a
right? The adversary? No.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. That was very different.
Gotcha.
Yeah. No.
Okay, cool. No. But I agree. I'd like to see him more. I think he's serviceable in this movie. I don't love him in this movie, but I think he does what he's supposed to.
Yeah.
We talked about Christine a little bit. Wong in here also.
Yeah.
So kind of jarring a little bit because he is so different to what we ultimately give him. Like, I kind of forgot that Wong is supposed to be this like serious character, this very stoic character. While he still is in later stuff, I feel like he's kind of got a little bit of the like comedy relief role or the like fun best friend character in the last couple years, especially via like his cameos in all the other projects, in your She-Hulks and in your Shang-Chi's and in couple others I'm blanking on right now. That kind of jazz, but I like him here. I think he works. I'm not in love with him in this movie directly. Like, it takes a while. I think it's him and the Infinity Wars and the Endgames and the She-Hulks and the Shang-Chi's for me to be like, I think I like him because he's consistent. He's like, he keeps coming around. He's like, oh, it's good old Wong.
He was a part of one of the funniest scenes in this movie, though, whenever you see him listening to the music that Strange recommends, and you see the portals on either side of him of Strange just taking books. I laughed so hard at that scene.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, it's it does age it a little bit, I think, the way you're like, you don't know Beyonce?
A little bit.
Beyonce's still a big star, obviously, but like not like 2016 Beyonce, I feel like.
I mean, you're going to get that with these movies once in a while. Because, I mean, like, if you go back to, like, the Batman 89 movie, you had Prince doing the soundtrack. You go back to Spider-Man 2002, they have Macy Gray singing the movie. So you're going to have those things once in a while. Could you pull up Harrison's thing right quick, please?
About Nightmare and Multiverse Madness? Yeah.
So that was originally going to be the case when Scott Derrickson was still attached to the project before Sam Raimi came and take it over. They were planning to do something with Nightmare, but he was originally removed, or he was ultimately removed, rather. So, little tidbit.
Feels like there was a lot happening with that Doctor Strange too. It feels like
it was infamous for having a lot of script rewrites to the point where Elizabeth Olsen just stopped reading drafts. And while the actual filming process itself was unorthodox for some of them, namely, like her and Haley Atwell both said that. They both have said more than once that they don't fault it to Sam Raimi at all. Like, they had a blast working with him, and it was more that was more the machine that was making things difficult, especially Haley Atwell in the whole Illuminati sequence. Everybody filmed their scenes individually for that, so that had to make it difficult.
Yeah, I think
I love that sequence, but
I do imagine that's probably one of those. Kevin Feige probably wasn't super close on it. They were probably like, all right, Sam, just, let blank, blank, and blank help you out with this, this, and this. And they were probably like chickens with their heads cut off kind of thing. And Sam Raimi was probably trying his best while all the corporate mumbo jumbos were like, no, it should be this. No, it should be, I can just imagine whatever the heck was happening in the corporate world.
I still appreciate the hell out of that second movie, and just because of
of
the direction that he brought with it, and with what he did with those characters. Like, you got to see Evil Dead Sam Raimi in the MCU, and I love that. But we'll definitely dive into that more if we ever get to that movie.
We'll get to that more. I want to see Sam I want Sam to have his full control on a movie. Again, he did a great job on it. It didn't fully feel like his movie. It felt like his movie with a cap on it. It felt like his flavor, but not fully his full creative vision. And I want to see him uncapped off. Like, I want to see him just like, do your thing. We won't say shit unless we absolutely have to, of course. But
because he by that point he had the credence to say, hey, I've made 3 Spider-Man movies, and for the longest time he wanted to do a Doctor Strange movie. He said that more than once. I would have thought that they would have learned the lesson that Sony didn't learn about interfering with Sam in the creative process of his movies. I'd have thought they would have learned that lesson. Apparently they did not. So, if there have been rumors that he's going to come back around and do the 3rd movie, I really hope it's true.
I'd like it,
and we'll see. And I hope that that with this 3rd movie, it's not that it's not a case where the writers of it don't watch like A, B, and C that they need to watch in order to do it. Because while I love Multiverse of Madness, you can definitely it's been reported more than once that the script writers did not see WandaVision.
And it does kind of suck they have to as well, though. Like, I can also understand, like, we've heard like stuff where it's like, blank doesn't really want to do Marvel anymore, and these people don't want to do Marvel anymore. And it's like, as much as that sucks, I also get it from like a creative vision that you have to like work within these boxes that you have to be like, okay, you can do this, but only if it fits in with this and this and this and this and this and this. It's like, wait, I can't do this because you already did that. Okay, like I feel like as much as I love the MCU, I think I would hate working in the MCU as like a filmmaker. Like,
and then like when they started adding TV shows into the mix, they got more complicated.
Sure, it's like, okay, you want to direct our movie? Watch 50 hours of content. It's like, no, I'm gonna be writing the movie, guys. I don't have time. I don't have time to do that. Give me.
Imagine if that was one person's job. If it was just one person's job, just to watch all the other shit, bring it to the writer, and say, "All right, these are the things you can't do. Go nuts."
Yeah. Speed run. Last couple thoughts I have, I guess. I'm not a huge fan of the like main villain, I guess you can say. Dormammu is the main villain. I think that's what really matters, and he's good. I love him, and we'll talk about that. But
he definitely has a big presence.
The villain himself, Mad Mikkelsen's character,
Basilius. Yeah, I love Mad Mikkelsen too.
Same, and like there's a point in like the middle where I'm like, oh, I'm all right. I'm getting it. But I think by that point it's a little too late, and then they drop the ball again, and I kind of just don't care as an audience for his character, to the point I didn't even know his name just now. I was like, the villain guy.
Until I said it?
Yeah, I was like, the villain guy played by big actor. But
fair enough.
On the flip side of that, I think the like Dormammu scene is so iconic and so incredible on its own. It's like, whatever, it's fine. That scene's so good, I don't care. It's like, that's what I'm focusing on right now.
People came like out of the movie just quoting that, like amongst my friend group for the next couple of days.
Yeah,
it was just that for the next couple of days.
Which, like you said, also a very underutilized character. It was not even referenced up until very recently with this season of Ironheart, which I actually did really like what they did with him. Where like, it's him, and like when they said it, I'm like, really? I thought it was going to be blank, that it ultimately is. And then it's like, oh, plot twist, you fuckers. Which makes me very scared for like, and I doubt they'll be able to live this up, how powerful is Mephisto? Because they plant him as being way more powerful than Dormammu. It's like, can they live up to that? That's a high bar. Like,
and I was talking about this a little bit ago, but if we get... This is not going to happen, but I could not tell you how happy I would be if they did some version of that Doctor Doom, Doctor Strange story where they go to Mephisto's realm together to free Doom's mother because she's a prisoner of Mephisto. If they do some version of that story, I would be like the happiest camper in the whole campground. Is it going to happen? Probably not. I'd love to be wrong.
Yeah. Any other character? I mean, we had an Ancient One as well, which someone brought in comments.
And you know,
controversies.
There was controversy, but I mean, really, like, you know, okay, I'll just be honest. Whose favorite character was the Ancient One going into this movie? There wasn't anybody who was like, oh, you know, like us 510 Ancient One fans over here are shaking our fist at you for this. No, I honestly didn't mind it, and I thought, you know, Tilda Swinton was good in the role. I really thought. I thought she brought a lot to it. And you know, again, like you said, has the whole sequence where she's hitting Strange out of his body. Love that sequence.
Great scene. Yeah.
But then you have between them in the third act when they're reminiscing after she's gone. I love that sequence too.
Yeah, no, I love that scene, like on the like balcony as the lightning starting to strike, and she's trying to decide, oh, it is my time. And I do love the themes of this movie where it's just like, sometimes you have to do the wrong thing for the right reasons, kind of thing. Where it's like, was what I was doing technically against the rules and bad? Yes. Was it needed? Also, yes. You gotta deal with
that even further in the second movie.
Yeah, no, I do really like that element, and I think it does add a lot to, I think, Strange's mentality of just kind of just like not giving a fuck, and like especially when you look at the Spider-Man shit,
Actually,
where it's like,
that actually kind of carries across Strange's character across all of his appearances, because he gave the stone to Thanos. He was willing to reset Spider-Man's whole identity thing. He dreamwalked into his own dead body. Like, he does the wrong
break
things
the rules,
for what he considers the right reason.
Interesting. I hope they. Again, I'm wondering where the vision ends for him. Like, how is that all going to come full circle? Because there is the elements in this one where it's like the consequences are going to catch up with you, Strange. Yeah. And I'm kind of like, I kind of wouldn't hate if at the end he dies. Like, I think I'm almost thinking he has to pay for his consequences by the end of his journey, and he has to accept that shit. Again, when he's done being the character, once he wants to leave.
So I guess what I'm worried about is, if they reach that conclusion to his arc in a third film, if that is, if that movie does happen before Secret Wars or not, like, if he's in that third movie, or if he's in Secret Wars, if he doesn't die in a third movie, where does this character go in Secret Wars?
Right.
That's what worries me, because but I feel like it would be the same sort of thing as like people after Iron Man 3. They're like, oh, okay, so his movies are done. Where does his character go? And we saw where his character went. Now, if they've thought that far ahead, then cool. But it's just a little worrying.
Yeah, that is one of I think the upsetting consequences of just this era, where like Secret Wars should be the end of this era, and I would say, okay, we're wrapping up characters like your Thors and your Doctor Stranges, but they haven't had their final film yet to get to that point. Like, I would have liked a Thor 4 before this. I would have liked a Doctor Strange 3 before this. I would have liked a Black Panther 3. I mean, Thor 5, I'm sorry. Maybe a Black Panther 3.
Would have liked another movie with Sam as Captain America.
Another Shang-Chi. Like, there's a lot more Kate Bishop, and there's a lot. That's a topic for another day on what we would shift and what we would move around, and that's a rabbit hole. Anything else for Doctor Strange that we haven't talked about that you would like to mention?
Not that I can think of off the top of my head. I just always have a lot of fun with this movie, and I'm not joking. There was a small window of time where, whenever this movie came, I think I got it off of a Redbox back in the day, before I owned it physically. But I brought it home, and then I had already seen it. My mom had not seen it yet. We watched it, and as the credits are rolling, she looks at me and goes, "It's one of the best movies ever."
Aww.
Yeah, like she loved Doctor Strange.
Good.
So I just have a lot of fun attachment to the character, the movie, the franchise within the MCU for more than one reason. And I'm hoping this is probably never going to happen, but I would love it if we were to get like a Hogwarts Legacy style game for Doctor Strange.
That'd be fun.
I'd love it if we got something like that.
Very true. Very true.
And I don't know if you've noticed this, but in like the past, 1 or 2 streams that I've done of Lego Marvel, he's been pretty prominent in those past couple streams, because I just love playing as him there.
There's a lot. Insomniac would actually kind of be sick as fuck. I
want to see it.
But because you have instead of gadgets, you have the different spells you can swap in and out. That would be actually pretty.
And you can even do a thing where you're like crafting your own spells. And all the worlds you can go to. Come on.
That'd be pretty.
And they already did the whole Sanctum Sanctorum thing in Spider-Man 2. So come on, build on that. Build on it.
Have him fully appear in 3. Have a little mission you can play as him, and then I don't know, something like that would be fun.
Come on, man, just give it to me.
With that being said,
that's not the only. Those aren't the only Spider-Man games where you can visit the Sanctum Sanctorum, by the way. Because, small little side note, all the way back in 2005 with the Ultimate Spider-Man game, that game has like a day-night cycle in it. If you visit the Sanctum Sanctorum at night, the back door is open and you can see purple light from inside the door. Cool. You can't go in it, but Marvel fans know what's going on there. I was like, cool. That's how I felt playing those games back then. It was just a tease.
Naruto said, what do you think of Gen V yesterday? Haven't watched it yet. I'll watch it soon.
I have not watched it at all.
Alrighty. Now let's move on to your favorite Marvel movie of all time. He said it's better than anything I've ever seen before. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume Dos.
Things that did not happen for 100, Alex.
This is one of my, I'll be honest, this is one of my most conflicting Marvel movies of all time.
I feel like you and me were like coming from such opposite perspectives on both of these.
For sure. Because there's so much I love from Guardians 2. There is so much that really, really works for me. But then there's also a lot that does not work for me in this movie as well. Things that I just, especially on this rewatch, this was my least favorite rewatch I've ever done. This is my third time watching this movie.
Same.
This was the time I was like, I'm seeing the gunnisms a little bit that I hadn't noticed before. And I think I'm just super, like, I'm more aware of them now, I think, than I was previously, now that we've got Superman and Creature Commandos and like 2 seasons of Peacemaker. Like it is so ingrained into my mind, and now his style is so apparent to me when I see it. It's like, oh, that's the gun. That's the gun on display.
Especially if you watch his movie Super from back in the day. That definitely is a little bit apparent in some of his movies that comes out lately.
Yeah. I mean, what was your thoughts on just like, even before jumping into this, like the first Guardians, like what was your take on that? And then what was your kind of history with this one in particular?
So the first Guardians is like still one of my favorite MCU movies. I love it. It's definitely, it's in the top 10 for me. I don't know where in the top 10, but it's definitely there. And, you know, I had read some Guardians of the Galaxy comics a little bit. You know, I had seen, you know, like Drax the Destroyer appeared in the Silver Surfer animated series back in the 90s.
Oh,
so
cool.
I knew some of those characters. But, you know, I wasn't the biggest Guardians of the Galaxy fan. And I think, you know, which is the case for like 90% of the people who either like knew them but really didn't know them. But most of the people had no idea who the hell they were. And that helped. That is one thing that, you know, despite my criticisms with Gunn, he does specialize in taking characters that people don't really know, doing his own thing with them, and then, you know, making them likable, especially with animals. I will give him credit there. And yeah, I really enjoy that first film. You know, it's got a lot of great hijinks between the characters. Villain's a little weak, but he is not the focus of that movie necessarily. But at the time it came out, it was just so different and so fresh. But it was also kind of a risky move for them at the time because, like, I remember when they announced it at Comic-Con after Avengers came out, I was like, has Kevin Feige lost his damn mind? Like, you just did the Avengers, this billion-dollar comic movie of all these different franchises that people know, and you're following it up with this? Really? What are we doing here? But yeah, then it came out. The film ended up, you know, winning a lot of people over. I had friends before it came out asking me if it was like a spoof Marvel movie. That's how little people knew about it.
Yeah.
But in particular, that lineup of the Guardians of the Galaxy, it was relatively new. Because, you know, like they didn't have like Cosmo, they didn't have a Nova. I mean, they kind of did, but not on the team and not really. But yeah, I really enjoyed the first movie, which is why going into the second one, I was kind of crestfallen. Because, I mean, my first time seeing it in the theater, there were points where, I laughed, but, you know, the time I would go back to rewatch it after that, I was thinking to myself, wait, I feel like I liked this before, and then I sat there and thought to myself, was I just forcing myself to like this movie at the time? Was that what was going
Yeah.
on? And looking back, it felt like I was just kind of pushing my way through the movie and then maybe laughing a couple times. But even then, on this recent rewatch, the humor really does not land for me.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the doofy dick and crap humor really just does not land for me at all.
Yeah.
And especially there are moments where Drax is just this naive, like intolerant asshole in this movie.
Yeah.
Like I really don't like him in this movie.
No.
Just the bit where he's essentially destroying somebody that's a slave to ego who already has low self-esteem. And he just goes, "Oh, you are horrible to look at." It was like,
Yeah.
what happened to this broken family man from the first movie?
Me and Ronan talked about this in the first one, and we praised him in the first one. We were like, he is one of the hearts of this movie. This is easily his best outing as Drax.
I even think so. Yeah. Even
after that movie, he goes downhill. This is his worst, I think, by far. I think this is Drax's worst. They really forgot, like they really leaned into just what was kind of minor parts of his character in the first movie, twisted it up to 1,000,000 and was like, this is who Drax is, or this is who he is. He easily the worst part of the movie. I think if you take out Drax from this movie, it at least goes up at least a letter grade 2 for me, because I do think a lot of the humor, for me personally, that does not work revolves around him. Not all of it. Some of it also does not work for me in other areas. But it almost feels like it kind of reminded me of Thor: Love and Thunder a little bit.
I knew you were gonna say that.
Where it's just like, and it's not even just the jokes. I think the jokes are mostly fine, but it's that rhythm, that joke.
Yeah,
Drax.
It's like every couple minutes. Yeah,
guys, relax a little bit. And I do imagine he was probably just very ambitious after the first Guardians. He's like, people love this. I can fully be me. And he was like, I'm gonna just do it. I'm gonna do what I'm feeling. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. That is okay to experiment with. I'm glad he got to do that.
Yeah.
That didn't work for me necessarily. Does it work better than Thor 4? Yes. I personally think so. Okay. It works better, sure.
Yeah. But I mean, even then, I feel like even still today in Gunn's filmography, that's one of my biggest issues with him, is that he does not let a moment sit before trying to make someone laugh.
Gunn is, I think Gunn is best when he has restraint. I think it's best when someone's holding him back a little bit. And I think he had that with 1. I think he had that with 3, because I think it was a very different, honestly, because he was just kind of getting back into Marvel. Yeah. Like he didn't have that safety net he had with Guardians 2, where it felt like he could have done anything.
I had other issues with 3, but the humor was definitely more in check.
It was 100%. Yeah. So you had that with 1, you had that with 2. I'm trying to think of anything else, but I think Suicide Squad. Actually, Suicide Squad, I actually feel that a little bit too. I know you don't love that movie, but
I was gonna say even in Creature Commandos, it felt like it was in check.
Sure. And then you go into like Peacemaker and Superman, where it does feel like he's a little bit more rapid fire with some of it, which I like a lot of it. But again, I do agree with you most of the time when it comes to Gunn, where it is like he is a good writer, he is good at what he does, but sometimes he goes overboard with how he does it, and that is something I'll be curious to see continue over these next couple of years as we're in with DC.
We'll see.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, there were multiple characters that frustrated me in this movie. Drax was not the only one.
Okay.
I love Kurt Russell, but the villain sucked in this movie. I thought Ego was terrible. And again, another one of those characters where it's like they have to attach a joke to everything. It's like, I'm a living planet. I've also got a dick. It's like that stupid thing. And probably one of the most egregious moments in the whole movie is when they just reveal what happened to all of Peter Quill's other siblings. They were essentially all ingested and killed.
Yeah.
They don't let that moment sit for a full minute before immediately trying to make a joke out of it.
It's
and
the pace
stuff like
of it.
that.
Yeah.
Stuff like that happens too often in the movie for me.
I really like I do like his performance a lot in this movie. I like him as a villain. It's not enough to chew on. It's like once we get him, it's almost like it's over.
Well,
Like you need
because there's no stakes. Like it doesn't feel
Yeah.
like he's a looming threat until he reveals himself.
Yeah, like because he's not a villain for like 90% of the movie. He's nice dad. And then as soon as he's not nice dad, he's evil planet. It's like we needed more time evil dad as Kurt Russell, sorry. Blanked his name for a second. Like we needed him actually as the villain because he's a great performer. He's an excellent actor. I think his chemistry with Chris Pratt is actually really good. Like I love their chemistry a lot. They do feel like a father and son duo. I do like this element that like, yeah, you were the one that worked. Like I like this like psychotic evil planet that is like, oh, you're gonna work with me because I love you. Oh, you don't want this? I'm gonna fucking make you do it. Like that stuff is good. I really like that and how it works. But you are right. It is too fast. They don't do enough when we do have him on screen. He's not like they kind of treat it as like a twist villain, and like
it didn't.
It's not a twist. Like it's not like.
I mean, not only does the main villain in this movie not work, it also feels like each act has a different villain, which really that bothers me. Like that really bothers me when there's not a clear villain. I mean,
the Ravagers.
Sometimes the twists work. Like you have the Ravagers, you have Ego. Like Nebula's antagonistic for most of this movie.
Yeah.
And then what the hell's the other one's name? I can't think. I can't think of the one's name. The one that they're always laughing at.
Taserface.
Yeah,
Taserface. You bet. I was never been a fan of Taserface.
No, that I mean. And you can even tell, like, the whole scene where he's, like, bragging about his name and everybody around there is going, I don't know how I feel about this. It's like, yeah, because it's not that funny.
Yeah, and then, they do the whole thing with what the core where they're like, that's your face. It's like, it's too much. Like, the joke, that's the thing. Like, it's not a bad joke on paper, but it goes on way too long. And that should have been a one-beat joke where it's like, you say his name, that's funny, end of joke.
Right.
That is it.
You contrast that with, like, Baby Groot getting tortured by these guys. It's like, it's like, what are we doing here? It's like, like these two things do not mix together at all.
Yeah, no, for sure. And like that's one of those aspects where like it sucks because I love the Yondu stuff. I love the rocket stuff. That to me, that's the heart of the movie. That's what makes it work for me. I adore that element of it, but it is also surrounded by the whole Taserface shit with the stuff that's happening over there, and up until like the end of the second act, it's almost like, where are we going with all this? How are we getting here? Where is this all leading?
So, I mean, I will say there is one part of this movie that I do kind of enjoy, but I like what another movie does with it more.
Okay.
And that's the Peter and Gamora stuff.
Oh.
I do like parts of that.
Okay.
However, I think not only was that joke with Mantis not that funny, but also B, it ruins. I feel like a lot of the momentum that you would get from something like that, and you know what joke I'm talking about. I feel like it ruins the momentum because the movie doesn't get to show you how they get there. They just tell you that one of them's already there, and then you eventually know the other one's going to get there, so it's not really as interesting, so you don't get to see them gradually grow.
Are we talking about the like laughing sequence where it's like we really like he feels sexual feelings for the...
that.
Okay,
It's like they already tell you that he's feeling that way, so the entire movie you're just like, okay, she's going to gradually get there and get there and get there, instead of just seeing them naturally come together. And that's really sullied it for me, because I mean, that one of the sequences I do enjoy in this movie is where they're out there on the patio and you have that dance between them. I do enjoy that scene quite a bit, and you can see that she obviously knowing her history, it's hard for her to feel that way about somebody. And like next to Rocket, maybe this is a hot take, but next to Rocket, she was my favorite Guardian.
Oh,
so I enjoyed what they did with her in
Yeah.
these movies, and then I have a good amount of issues with how they did her in 3. But it was some of the better parts of this movie, I feel like, but it was buried by a lot of the not good stuff.
I like Gamora was never one of my favorites, unfortunately. I think, and to be fair, she's the only one that doesn't really have a full arc necessarily. Like, she does get, pun intended, cut short.
She falls off.
Yeah, no, for sure. But like, I do like her. Like, I like that she's struggling with her vulnerability. Like, she wants to be part of this family. Quill has clearly helped her come out of her shell and become who she is. She is a real character in this one, where I feel like in the first, she didn't know who she was. She was the daughter of Thanos. Who am I now that I'm not without it? And she's struggling with that. So I think that that stuff is really good.
And I love how just that little bit where you see when they're introduced in Infinity War, and she's like singing along to that who is it? That one Spinner song that they have playing in the spaceship, and she's like singing along to it. That just showed character progression, because if you were to done that like one movie back, she wouldn't have been doing that.
No, it's
just that little bit of progression. And honestly, even though that's the movie where she does die, I think you get the arguably the best stuff out of her in that movie.
No, for sure. Yeah, no, like, she's good in here. I think Peter's fine in this one.
Kind of, it's weird. It's like
this is my least favorite from him, personally.
It's like half the time I get him, half the time I'm like, dude, you're a fucking ass. Like, again, like the whole Drax and Manta stuff, where I don't like that. The whole like him just shit talking Rocket a bunch. I'm like, do we really need this? This doesn't seem like it's doing anything.
Well, I like it from Rocket's POV, because I love the Rocket arc in general. I love, and they really get into it, where it's like, you do that shit to push people away because you don't feel like you are worth loving. That everyone you love is going to leave you. So if you push them away first, then it will be easy. I love that shit. And I think, again, the stuff with Yondu and Rocket, genuinely some of my favorite moments in the MCU. Like, that big yelling sequence from Yondu, masterpiece. And I think it's even, like, obviously done better once you see 3, once you see the full arc, once you see why he doesn't like being called things. He doesn't like being a raccoon. Like, that shit's incredible.
And
like,
they pay it off in 3 when he says the name.
He says the name. That stuff is incredible. You couldn't really see it as much in the first one, but you can see what James Gunn means by Rocket Raccoon was the secret main character of the trilogy. He is the main character of this movie for me. He is the main focus. And again, the stuff with him, and I loved Yondu in this one as well. I really enjoyed this, like, uncovering who he is, uncovering his secret motivations. Very similar to Gamora, where it's like Peter is able to unveil his true feelings, even if he was never able to say it himself. Is the scene a little silly? Maybe, but I love his death scene. I think his death scene genuinely was like choking me up a lot. Where it's like
Yondu's?
Yeah, like the whole end, everything with Yondu at the end was really, really well done. And I actually think outside, again, the ego stuff, I think could have been done better. But I do think the third act really does find itself. It brings that up in a way that works for me most of the time. Not everything, but most of the time it does really work for me when those emotional beats are hitting. Like the moments where like he's talking to Rocket and he's like, yeah, I have to go do this. And he's like, all right. And you have little Groot things like, welcome to the Guardians of the Galaxy. Like there is something about Yondu finding his family in his death that kind of fucks with me a little bit. Like that is such an emotionally driven moment. And then when you get back to the ship and Gamora is like, I'm going to go find him. He shoots her because I can't lose anyone else. That shit kind of fucked me up on rewatch, knowing what happens in 3, knowing why he's like that. And there's stuff like that in the first one as well, where he does the same thing, I think, to Peter, but it's like, oh man, like he is not fucking around. He's not losing his people. No. Like I love that stuff.
And there was one moment that I did enjoy here too. Again, I still don't really like the movie that much on the rewatch, but there's like a small handful of moments I can enjoy. Like I said, the Gamora stuff, but also another moment where she's talking to Baby Groot. I do actually like that moment quite a bit, where it's almost kind of like, it sounds weird to phrase it this way, but like a mother calming down a concerned infant in a way.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, this is, nice. Yeah. And surprisingly, it was one of the more emotionally resonant scenes that didn't get ruined with a joke, which I can't say that for about 90% of the movie, but
I'm a sucker for Baby Groot, bro. Like, does it all work? No.
Yeah,
I think some of it.
The whole child torture scene, or where he's like bringing back random bits like a toe or whatever the hell. It's like,
listen, was it needed? Does it throw off the momentum? Yes. That's my kind of comedy. I loved him bringing back random shit. It was like, no, Groot, that's a toe. Go back, try again. And I'm sorry, I love it so much. I love when he finally finds the journey undoes. He's like, no, he did it, and he still picks up the wrong thing, and it has to be what's his face to be like, no, it's the other. Like, it's so stupid. It works.
I get that works for some people.
But I do agree that it does throw off the momentum of it. Like, again, there's like another joke I still enjoy, but for one, it went on too long, and two, it did ruin the tone. I love the button joke, as stupid as it is, where it's like, all right, you have to press this button. He's like, I am Groot. No, not that one. Like,
yeah.
As stupid as it is,
thing, yeah.
That is another example of a good joke that goes on way too long. It's almost a 3-minute scene where, like, Quill's like, does anyone have the tape? And he goes around to Everett. Great joke. Again, too long. It takes up too much of that scene. Sometimes less is more, and I do think that's one of those situations. I still find it funny, though. It still kind of worked for me in some aspects.
And I mean, this was another one of those movies that, the Guardians movies have always, they've one of the things that they've been most recognized for is their soundtracks.
Yes, incredible soundtrack.
I did not love the soundtrack in this movie.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Especially, I don't know why this bothered me so much, but the opening sequence, it's a fun sequence where you have Baby Groot like going around the entire battle.
I like that stuff a lot. Yeah,
that's fun. But the song that they use, Mr. Blue Sky, like they have that song in the trailers, and they have it there in the film, but then they never get to the chorus, which is the best part of the song, and it bothered me. I don't know why, but it felt like it was flowing really well with the scene, and then they cut away. I'm like, no, that's the one moment where I wanted you to keep going. And like, yeah, that sequence was fun. I'll give it that.
Yeah.
Just because, like, you see Groot is the point of view character in that scene, and you can see like blurred other Guardians in the background where, like, you have Gamora holding the gun, and she's like, "Get out of the way!" And then it goes to the next one. That's fun there, but then it dives into the whole overdone sequence where you have like Drax inside the belly of whatever that thing is, where he's repeatedly stabbing inside the stomach thing. I'm like, okay, you're just doing too much.
Yeah, again, like, that's one, like, Drax movie one. Drax wasn't stupid. I think that's the thing. Drax was like smart. He just didn't know social interactions. He didn't know how to be a social guy. He didn't know human lingo. That was it.
He's like, why would I touch my throat?
Yeah, like, he's not an idiot, especially when it comes to like alien species and just basic common sense. And they really double down on that. I was like, he wouldn't have done that. Like, movie one, Drax would not have done that. Although, what I will say, I thought was kind of interesting. And I don't know if he did this on purpose, if there was any amount of planning to this, but there was that scene in the first act where, like, Drax is like, you and Gamora aren't going to be together. Like you guys aren't going to end up together. He was right. And I was like, huh. I wonder if I was always kind of in the cards, because I actually like the.
So I don't think it was, personally. I think when you get to Infinity War, that was the Russos making changes.
I agree. And, like James Gunn, said recently that, yeah, he, there were some changes that we made, but that was generally what we wanted to do. And again, was that a lie? Maybe, possibly. But I actually like the sad fantasy of it all. I like this story of almost it didn't work out and that's okay. Not every story is going to. If it was able to spend more time setting that up, it is a afterthought in Guardians 3. It is let's throw this in there. I think in a perfect world, do 3 without her and then do a 4th or something do something else where I don't know. I think they needed their time apart to make that scene work, to let it have more of that impact, and it doesn't. And it needs more time. It needs a movie focused on that dynamic, and that's not the dynamic because it's focused on saving Rock. I don't know. It is a thing, and it is sad looking at this movie and even the first being that didn't really go anywhere, huh? They were setting it up, and it.
I mean, I'll be honest. And I've said that Gamora was one of my favorite Guardians. When you get to Infinity War, aside from that, aside from the ending, I'd say her death was probably the saddest moment in there for me.
It's a great scene. Or even put, just don't bring her back at all. Don't have this alternate Gamora at all.
Because that didn't even feel like Guardians 1 Gamora. It felt like a completely different character than any version of her that we'd known.
Yeah, have it. Yeah, I don't know, man. I think I maybe would have been more into it if she just didn't come back for 3. And it is a movie about grieving, and it is a movie about accepting to let go and accepting that things weren't meant to be, and that I need to move on from not only her but this whole era of my I think maybe that would have worked better, and then that would give you more time to focus on some of the other aspects. Add Adam Warlock, actually give him stuff to do in that movie.
And what would have helped, and maybe this is such a minor thing, and I apologize for getting a little bit lost in the weeds on this.
No, go ahead.
But when they all come back in the final battle in Endgame, and I get it, they're in a final battle. I would have loved to see Peter reacting to being back on Earth after so many years, and we never got anything like that.
No.
I would have loved to see that, because he's thrown back into the place where he was a kid and then he spent so long away from, but he has to fight as soon as he gets there, and they never got any time of reflection there. I would have just wanted some of that.
I love Infinity War and I like Endgame, but the Guardians are done the worst in both of those in terms of their arcs and what they're going through, because obviously you had the Drax stuff, which was not touched on at all in those movies. The fact that Thanos murdered his family.
Well, they kind of did.
Not enough. I don't think.
You see him run toward Thanos before he gets turned to clay in that one sequence.
Yeah.
It was but I mean, granted, how much more of that were we going to get because of how many characters were in that movie?
Yeah. And then this movie, they set up Nebula as well, and her vendetta against Thanos, which is also really good and very justified. Those two characters deserve it more than any of the Avengers cast, I think. Which I understand why it has to be Tony, because he is the main character. I get that. But it in theory, I wish it could have been Drax or Nebula.
Fair.
In the comics, it's her, right? She's the one with the Infinity Stones, right?
It's Nebula. She has the gauntlet. She has hair too.
Incredible. Yeah.
But no, I'll be honest. Nebula was not a character I liked until probably Endgame. It took me a while to come around.
Okay, fair. I mean, that's fair. She is now in my top 5.
That's fair.
I love Nebula.
After Endgame, after the holiday special, especially, and then 3. Yeah, 3 is definitely her best one, I feel.
That's fair. It is cool to kind of see her officially join the cast, though. Officially, join the actual team itself. I enjoyed that ending a lot, where it's help us stop what happened to us happen to all these other children and girls. I love that stuff a lot. I thought that was a fantastic way. We kind of skipped over a little bit. Mantis also joins the cast this season. This episode or this movie. While probably her weakest appearance, I love Mantis just as a character, especially once we get to the special and 3, and Infinity War as well.
the holiday specials when I started to like her. I didn't really before then because in 2,
not a lot to chew on.
She's kind of just that slave to ego that just gets shit talked. And really, the main purpose that she serves in Infinity War is kind of what I predicted going into that movie, was that she was at some point going to be used to put Thanos to sleep. Of course, that did not end up working out, but I had a feeling that's how they were going to use her there. She didn't really get a lot of moments beyond that.
That's fair. I do like her in this movie, though, personally. I like that she has such a big heart, and I like that she only puts up with what he's doing because she doesn't really know people and what humanity is. And the moment she does, the moment she can actually feel genuine, real emotions, she's like, oh, this is what life is supposed to be. Like, this is what, and I like that, like, self-discovery. Do I hate how Drax treats her? Absolutely. He's a piece of shit. But there is that fantastic moment between her and Drax where they're just like looking upon the sunset, and it'd be like, yeah, but being ugly is sometimes okay because then you know how people truly feel. I was like, what a great moment. That's such a great moment. And then you have the whole Gamora thing kind of ruining the moment, but like that singular, that is incredible. I love that stuff, and I like how she does become part of the team at the end, and like yeah.
Like, there's some good moments in there, but then it gets buried under like she gets like hit in the head by something and knocked out. He points to the ground and starts laughing. I was like,
look out! Yeah, it's
like, dude, you're an asshole.
That scene does make me laugh. Like, I don't like it for the tone, but it is funny. Hey, watch out! After like 10 seconds of being hit by the, it's like, god damn it, come on, guys.
I mean,
it's not great, but it is a funny gag.
So I don't know. Yeah. I hope that where I'm coming from with this movie, with both of these movies, makes a little bit more sense now.
No, 100%. I don't blame you, but like this is such a weird one too, because like it is really the pick a dot of the Marvel world, because this is people's favorite Marvel movie. This is people's least favorite Marvel movie. This is people's in the middle of the road Marvel movie. Like, this is everywhere for people. Depending on who you ask is depending on where this places on their list. And again, like I said at the start, it's middle of the road for me. There is stuff I adore that I think is fantastic. There is stuff that's not fantastic that I don't love. Yeah.
When it comes to one like Doctor Strange, for a lot of people, it's middle of the road.
It's also my, like, I liked it a lot on this route, but it doesn't. Here's what I'll say with Doctor Strange. I think it's really good. I don't know if it has, for me personally, the highs of the highs that a lot of the other Marvel projects have for me. Like, it doesn't have that, like, I love that bit. I love this. It's like, I think it's consistently good throughout all of it, outside of the, like, forehead touch when he's going through, like, that stuff is great, obviously. Fair. But
I mean, if I'm just looking on my like my list that I have here right now of MCU projects, as far as the movies go, not counting shows, the first movie is actually my number 12 for movies.
Okay.
So, and then the second one is a little bit higher.
Yeah, on the rewatch so far, it's number 9 for Doctor Strange.
Okay.
But that's just out of the 14 that I've ranked in this rewatch. So far it is quite literally middle of the road.
Fair.
And then in general, oh boy, I'm scared. Where did I put it?
Yeah, after Ironheart, after Wonder Man comes out, I'm gonna do like a long form video where I have every project ranked. That's gonna be a bitch to edit, but it'll be fun to have everything there.
Okay, yeah, I mean, I definitely feel like it will be shifted, because on my original was like 25 in just the movies, and that's pretty low. Like, I'm looking at it right now, and it's like below Age of Ultron, it's below Eternals, it's below Ragnarok. Like, I feel like it'll probably shift. But also, I love Ragnarok. I like Ragnarok, and we'll see if I change my mind on rewatch.
Yeah.
That feels like the goods kind of ending point. Do you have any final thoughts on this movie we haven't talked about yet?
That I can think of, no, not really. Like, out of all James Gunn's comic projects, this is definitely down there as one of my least favorite ones.
I would agree with that.
But granted, I only love like 3 or 4 of his. Like, I love Guardians 1. Like, I love Guardians 1. I love Creature Commandos, and I love the holiday special, and then that's pretty much it.
Cameron has requested I bring up a post that he sent over to me. It's actually the person who made this is one of my best friends. So shout out to Connor who made this tweet. But he said, "Can you see
the exit over here, Connor?"
Yes.
Okay,
you met him over in the.
Yeah, we did like. Oh, I saw this.
Yeah,
I did see this.
So the Arrowverse canon events. So we have it's a little blurry, but you have the Felicity walking out scene.
Yeesh.
Not my favorite.
Get that Arrow season 4 off my screen.
We have the Gorilla Grodd peak. We have we have the Supergirl. I showed you this clip a couple weeks ago, I think, right? Didn't we like watch the scene?
I think so, but I don't remember where this is from.
It was that season 5 clip with Martian Manhunter and his
brother.
His brother?
Malefak?
Yeah, that was and then the grave.
Man,
which is,
okay.
Yeah.
John Campy can say whatever he wants, or people, not caring about Grant Gustin as the Flash, but this meme template will be used for everything under the sun until the end of time.
That is the thing the Arrowverse, I think, will be best known for. That is the Arrowverse's legacy. In 20 years, this meme, this is the Arrowverse's legacy. This is the thing it will be known best for. In 500 years, when you can't even watch those shows anymore, alien cyborgs will still be sharing around this goddamn meme, and it will be fantastic. No, people won't know who those people are. Who the hell is Oliver Queen? It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah. Oh, Stephen Amell hates the grave post. He
hated it.
He keeps telling people to fuck off.
Me and Connor were actually talking about this earlier, where it's so silly. As big and tough of a man that Stephen Amell is, and I love Stephen Amell. Such a snowflake sometimes. I love him, but he's such a snowflake sometimes. He'll take the most innocent things and be like, "How dare they?" It's like, dude, it's fun. Come on.
Peacemaker.
The Peacemaker shit pisses me off. It's just like how they and like the interviewer pissing me off too. It's like, yeah, John Cena called you out. It's like, no, he didn't. Peacemaker did. And it wasn't you.
It wasn't even you.
You are not the DCEU Green Arrow.
Also,
you are not.
But also, somebody's like, hey, did you see the Peacemaker finale where he called out Green Arrow? And he goes, no, I'm over here showing Cena how wrestling is supposed to be done on my show that barely lasted.
It's so petty. It's so weird. It's so interesting. But with that being said, Jake, that does take us to the end of our show today. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for coming back once again. I'm pretty sure everyone here already knows where they can find you, but just in case they can't, where can we find you? What you're working on? Anything you want to shout out, promote, any of that stuff?
Sure. So a few things that I have upcoming in the pipeline, if you will. We have our next character costumes ranking, which is actually going to be my next video that I have coming out. We did Iron Man a little while back. That was a really fun one. And we're jumping back over to the DC side with Deathstroke in this one. Ooh. And then some more details for the Wolverine game, talking about what costumes I want to see there. Making a similar video for the new Lego Batman game, Legacy of the Dark Knight. And definitely going to be covering both those games a lot whenever they release next year. That's supposedly the release date for them, assuming no more delays happen. And aside from that, we've got the Jack and Daxter Let's Play I've got going right now that I definitely need to finish because I need to get to the other ones that I have listed. Secrets of Arkham, Secrets of Marvel, Arkham Rankings, and then if you want to catch me live where we just game and chat about whatever the hell, then you can find me live on Sundays with Jake's Lost Levels at 7 p.m. Eastern. And I don't want to do too many games at once there. That's why you see the same ones recycled until I beat one and then put another one in its spot. So our 3 games on the circuit right now are Batman Arkham City, Lego Marvel Superheroes, and Elder Scrolls V Skyrim. So those are the 3 that we've been going with for a bit. And this upcoming Sunday is another Skyrim stream. So yeah, all that.
Yeah, go check that out. His channel got a lot of fun things coming.
Trying to get to 2,000 subs by Christmas. I want to see if we can do it.
Yes, go check him out.
We're 300 away. Come on, I have faith.
Incredible. Yeah, go check him out. Also, if you just like us bantering back and forth, we stream together a lot. Obviously there's a bunch of episodes on this very channel you can check out. He's done some of my after the credit streams over the years. Also, we do Party Nation, Council Creators, Nocturne Nerdcast like twice a week.
In a couple hours, actually.
We should be there, yes, very soon. And in terms of what we got cooking this week, after credits on Monday, we will be doing the Peacemaker finale, and episode is at 6 of Gen V. So that'll be very fun. Taz should be over there. Another special guest should be there as well. And on Thursday, next week's pipeline, I put a poll up a little while ago because there was a spot opened up for this week's episode. It looks like we are covering the It movies for the first time as we continue our kind of Halloween vibes. I put up a poll being like, there's a spot opened up for a topic. Vote on either Tron or It, and I'll watch those movies this week. And it seems like It is winning. So we'll talk about those movies. Yeah. It should be very fun.
I don't know if you've seen these, but for a Halloween challenge, I would recommend you to watch the original Evil Dead movies.
We'll see.
I would add those to your list, but I know your watch list is long.
Yes, maybe we'll see.
Yeah.
And keep an eye out on the second channel as well. We're doing a Mario Party stream over the weekend, and I'm working on some other stuff as I try to build that channel up. It's a bit different from this one as I branch out and experiment with what I want to do over there. Okay. So without ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. Check out all the stuff we just marketed and plugged and all that jazz. I'll see you guys on the flip side.